recorded. And if you have any trouble connecting to audio through your computer, you can use the Call Me option for audio instead. We're going to be using the chat feature today to post questions during the presentation. Participants are welcome to go ahead and turn on your video if you'd like, but you are going to be muted during the entire webinar. So any questions that you have, you will need to post in the chat. And when we're all done, look for our recording on our website under our transcript page at isac.org. So as I said, we're going to go ahead and get started here. I'm Lenore Smith, Capacity Development Specialist here at ISAC. And on behalf of the Illinois Student Assistance Commission, I just want to take time to thank you all for joining with us today for the Parchment preview. We're going to be sharing how the Transcript Exchange can really benefit your school or district, but more importantly, how it can really position your students for success. I'm going to provide a very brief, broad overview. Next, we're going to hear from Haley Plodney. I got your name right. I've been blowing it. I've only known her for 18 years, but I always say her last name wrong. And we're joining from Williamsville High School, and with her we have Denise Bryant. So Haley is actually the counselor and Denise is the registrar. So we're blessed to have both of them with us today. And then we also have Ben Silva from Parchment. And I will call for questions at the end of each of their presentations. So we've only been doing this for a short period of time. ISAC partnered with Parchment back in 2011. It seems like just yesterday sometimes, really to invest in the future of Illinois students. ISAC does make the Transcript Exchange services available to all of our Illinois students across the state, both public and private high schools, and it's free to use for all of those students and schools. Our partnership success really has been proven. We have over 460 schools now, not including Chicago Public Schools. That's usually a question that comes up. It's like, well, there's so many schools, so we would expect you to have a lot of schools, but this is not including Chicago Public Schools that are really successfully utilizing the ISAC transcript with us today. So that equates to thousands of Illinois students actually sending their transcripts electronically, not just here in Illinois, or the United States for that matter, but also worldwide. Transcripts are sent securely to their selected locations, which helps us quick electronic turnaround really better position all of our Illinois students for post-secondary admission, scholarships, even job competition, because the exchange allows for transcript requests not just from current students, but from our alumni students as well as third-party requests. You can sign up for all of those services. So it's our hope today that this preview will really show you just how easy it is to use the exchange powered by Parchment. And we really encourage you to think about this and give it some consideration as we go forward. I'm going to, at this time, go ahead and ask for both Haley and Denise to go ahead and unmute there.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I've already introduced you, but would you like to say anything about how long you've been at Williamsville High School? I know it's just been a few days. I gave that away, Haley, as long as we've been working together. But
yeah. No, this is my 18th year at Williamsville High School as a school counselor, and Denise has been here for.
I've been here 13 years, but in the registrar position, probably 9, maybe 10. Yeah.
So we have some questions that we've posed to both of them. So we're going to give them time to address these questions, and we'll maybe talk through some other things. And I might have a question or two to surprise them with.
Sure.
We'll see how nice I want to be to both of them today.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess, I'll start by saying when Lenore first reached out to me, she and I had been working with financial aid presentations and FAFSA completion nights and things like that for several years working together. And when the electronic transcript process came about, she started asking me about implementing that in our high school. And right away, I was pretty hesitant about it, didn't want to do that. Technology kind of scares me a little bit. And I was just thinking, oh, this is just something, new we're going to have to learn, and, how technology can be sometimes. And I just didn't know if we wanted to go that route. But I'm very glad that Lenore was persistent, and I tease her about that because she just kept saying, you want to do this. It is going to be helpful. It's going to help you. It's going to help in Denise's position. It's going to help your students. And then also, on the other end of it, the colleges and universities as well. So I'm definitely glad that we did decide to move forward with Parchment. I can't right now think, do you know what year we did that? Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
A while ago.
A while ago. Yeah, it has been a while. So one of the questions there on the slide, or the first one, is how it's helped our transcript process. And I just had jotted down a few notes when I read this question, and definitely how it's made the process much more efficient, the convenience of it, and the tracking for those transcripts. Using the electronic transcripts, using Parchment, students can log on and send their transcripts to multiple institutions, all in one time. They can sit down and do that. When we were having to send them by paper, and I'm sure Denise remembers this, we were having to print them, put them in envelopes, seal them, put a stamp on them, mail them to the colleges. And then the colleges would be reaching out to the students saying, we haven't received your transcript, your file isn't complete, your application isn't complete. And then we would call, because we knew we had mailed them, and we would call, and the colleges would eventually track it down, and it was just hadn't made it to the right person's desk yet. So with Parchment now, as soon as a student orders their transcripts, Denise does most of the processing of those. She will process them, and then there's tracking from that point forward where the student can see it's been processed, it's waiting to be downloaded, and then they can see when the college or university has actually downloaded their transcripts. So that's really helpful for the student as well as for us and for the college. I think for students too, it's kind of jumping into the second question, how it's benefited our students. They're able to get, in my opinion, faster college decisions because they're able to get those applications wrapped up and complete sooner. The colleges aren't waiting on those transcripts. So that's definitely helpful for them. Can you think of anything else as far as on the student side for how it's alumni?
Yeah,
that's helpful too.
It's been helpful for the alumni. A lot of times we'll get requests for that people need their transcripts for jobs that they're currently in or applying for, and so that's an easy way for them to, to have them sent through Parchment. Just makes it a lot quicker, a lot more convenient. So,
yeah. I mean, we really haven't, and I know when we do have questions, again, Denise usually does the phone calls to Parchment, but I know, the customer service has always been good, and they get answers to her so that we can resolve whatever issue we might have, if there's an issue with the transcript or something, or a student, maybe being charged when they shouldn't be or something like that. It's always, I would say pretty quickly resolved, wouldn't you?
Right. Mm-hmm. I feel like the service is really just taking a load off my plate because it's all in the system. So if a student is saying, well, I sent my transcript to such and such, I can pull up their history and say, well, no, you didn't, mm-hmm. And, or if they did and the college is saying they never received it, I can give the student that DID number, I believe it's called. Mm-hmm. And then they can contact the school and say, hey, this is the information I have. So, basically, you're doing it all for us. Basically, it's just a place where I can go and check, but the information is all right there for me available. So
mm-hmm. huge time saver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And an easy way to track. So mm-hmm. it's really very beneficial to us for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how we could ever go back and do it, the old fashioned way. This is definitely, like I said, I couldn't see us doing this any other way. And on my end, I know, like I said, Denise handles a lot. She does do all of the uploads of the transcripts. So like we just had grades posted this past week for the 7th semester for seniors. And so within the same day that grades were due, she was able to upload the transcripts to Parchment so that the most current transcript was available for our seniors. So for those needing to send their transcripts right away to the colleges or for scholarships, they were able to do those right when grades were in. On my side of it, I helped the students set up their accounts. So I'll go into the classrooms at the start of the school year. It's starting to happen a little earlier now, though, like with my next year seniors. I almost need to go in and help them do this before they leave for summer because the college applications are opening up sooner now. And so, some of them are emailing me over the summer saying, hey, how do I get my transcript? I'm trying to apply. So I'm not sure if I'll change that yet or not, or how I'll go about doing it, but I do go into the classrooms. I meet with the students. Very easy process to help them set up their accounts. There's certain little tips that we give them as far as, not using their school email, using a personal email, using their full legal name so that it matches their school records, but just things like that. And, within that class period, they set up their account and I'll have them send a self view to their own email and save it, so that way they can see how the process works. So that side of it's very user-friendly too. The hardest part is just the students being able to remember their login.
Well, I know we joke around a lot, Haley, but I really do appreciate you both showing up today. And I was a little nervous yesterday with that -23 and the schools all canceling. And Ben and I put together a backup plan in case neither one of you were able to join us today. But I do have one question really probably to Denise, because and I'm not going to surprise you with any questions. So Haley and I kind of chatted about this and you addressed a little bit about the upload, but the question usually comes through, how hard is that process? Because we have a lot of individuals that sometimes tell me, like back when Haley and I first started our conversations, oh my gosh, I don't know a lot about technology and I'm not sure if I'll be able to get through the training. And, we can tell them how easy that is. And I can certainly tell them how easy that is because I'm not doing it. But from your perspective, Denise, can you share with us a little bit about that?
It's just super easy. I mean, I just, from the software that we use, Teacheries, I just create a CSV file with the points that I need to get their last name, first name, their student ID number, and I just create that, and then it's just a couple clicks and I upload it. It's super simple. So, and then I appreciate when you go in there, if there's not a match, I can go in and change those to get the transcripts to match with the student's name if there's a discrepancy of any kind. But no, 5 minutes and it's done. So it's super, super easy.
Have you had to reach out to Parchment recently, or do you depend on some of their YouTube videos or training videos?
I have used some of their videos before, just when I was unsure. I did have something recently come up when about the registration codes, where if students don't create their account using the registration code, they do not have access to the unofficial self views, which are free indefinitely. So there was a bit of confusion there, but now that I wrap my head around that process, from here on out, it's going to be a lot easier. Evidently, I just didn't understand how that worked, whether a student created their account, when they were creating their account, how important it was to use that actual registration code. Because at the beginning, when we started using Parchment, I just had it in my mind, I guess, that was optional. Mm-hmm. Like they can use the registration code or they don't have to use the registration code. which is true, but now we found out that they're not getting the unofficial self view for free. That they would be charged if they did not set up their account with the registration code. So, but as far as contacting support, I mean, it's been few and far between, I feel. In the probably 10 years we've used Parchment, I could probably count on one hand how many times I've had to contact support. Now, Teacheries, the software that we use, that's a different story. I probably call them several times a week. So,
well, we won't go into that here today.
But no, Parchment has been very user friendly, and the support is great whenever I've needed it. But again, it's been very the rare that I've needed to call or ask questions about anything. It's just very, very easy to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not seeing anything in the chat, but for those of you that have joined us, now's your time if you want to ask Haley or Denise another question, to go ahead and put that in the chat. I know that they're both very, very busy, because when I call, or especially if I just pop in unannounced, which I've been known to do a few times over the years, they are always swamped. So they're not going to stay with us much longer here. They're going to pop off, and we do truly thank you, because Ben and I, we can talk about how great our services are, and the fact that it's free and it's user friendly and they're there to support you. But until I think we really start hearing from those folks that are using it in the field, how it works for their students, I told Haley, I don't know if she shared with you, Denise, I said, if you have had a problem, if you felt like all those years ago I kept nagging you, now's your time to get even. But I appreciate the fact that it's still been going great for you.
Yeah, we've had zero, there's been no complaints from any students or parents or anything like that. I mean, if anything, it's they like it too. And once they get the hang of it, which is they get it quicker than we do, they just log on and send their transcripts, and they even know how to if you can mark hold for grades, they know how to go in and do that. If they want to go ahead and order it, but not send it until the new grades are posted, we show them how to do that. So, and I had made a note on here, I didn't say it earlier, but I had asked Denise this question: how far back in Parchment do we have for our alumni? And looks like we have all the way back to the class of 98 that are currently uploaded. So, if anyone, alumni, all the way back to the class of 98 can order, and now they can go even beyond that, but it just has to be created, right? Like a separate.
Mm-hmm. So, we did have a question come up, but it's actually probably Ben can address this when we get to his segment here in just a minute. It's asking, saying that their students do not have technology access. So is the counselor able to order transcripts on their behalf? And that answer is yes. And I'm sure Ben will cover that when he gets to his portion. So I thank you very much. That's the only one I'm seeing right now. So I do thank both of you. I know you need to get back to your day, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to introduce Ben now, who's the Customer Success Manager from Parchment. And Haley, I'll ask you to go ahead and mute. Or
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Ben Silva. I am the Customer Success Manager here at Parchment, and I've been with Parchment for just about 9 years now. And as Lenore said, I'm located in Denver, Colorado. But thank you, Denise and Haley, for your insights. It's always great to hear from current members to see how well Parchment's been utilized at your school and for your parents or students. So thank you. So my main goal as the Customer Success Manager is to monitor progress, adoption, and satisfaction with constant proactive engagements and addressing ongoing professional development and service needs. And then I'm also your internal advocate for navigating the Parchment ecosystem and partnering with your regional sales manager to help expand reach. And so we can explore additional services that Parchment offers, like our diploma services. So with that, we offer paper and digital diplomas. We also offer records digitization, where we can take all those older legacy records that you may have stored in file cabinets, maybe in your basement dungeon, and upload those into your upload those records into your Parchment account. So these additional services are not covered by ISAC Transcript Exchange, but if you are interested in having those discussions, I can definitely point you in the right direction. So with that said, I am the main point of contact for each high school in the state. So each high school has me as their dedicated customer success manager. And then I also work with Lenore and Sam at the ISAC level. So to get started today, let's take a look at today's agenda. So first, we'll go over a quick overview of Parchment's mission. So who are we and what are we all about? And then we'll make sure to get into the meat of the presentation today, which is a demo. So you'll see two things today in this demo. First, what does the student experience look like when they actually go through and order a transcript to be sent to a particular destination? And then number two, so what would you see as an admin when you log in? So whether you're, a counselor, you're a registrar, or anyone who is responsible for records requests, what do you see and how do you take care of those student requests? And then we'll definitely do our best to save maybe 5 minutes at the end today for some questions, some answers. And if your questions aren't answered today, you can always send myself or Lenore questions, and we'll make sure to get those answered for you. And I'll be sharing my contact information at the end of the slide today. Oops. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and talk about who Parchment is. So whenever I give the background on Parchment as an organization, I always like to start with our mission because it's important to us. And our mission is to turn credentials into opportunities. And that mission is the very foundation that we build every single product and service on here at Parchment. We're very student-focused organization, and so we are a student-focused organization because we recognize students aren't just students. They are people. They are people that are going to progress throughout their life, either academically or professionally, or hopefully both. And as they are making their way through their particular pathway, we know that there are different steps they have to take. And each step along the way, they may have to call upon those credentials that they've earned up to this point, and to be able to achieve and get that next opportunity right in front of them. So Parchment wants to play that small but very important role of being the service that students can rely on, to have all of their credentials in one location in their learner profile that's associated with their Parchment account, so that when they need them to send to a certain destination, they're there and ready to go. And so that's why that's what Parchment's all about, to empower your students and to turn those credentials into opportunities. And so how do we do that then? That is our mission, but what's a little bit more concrete behind that? And so with Parchment, we know that folks like yourself are responsible for so much more within your school, underneath your roles, titles, and responsibilities. And so we want to make the records management process for folks like you at schools as simple as possible. So should you choose Parchment, you are choosing a single platform that you can have all of your current student requests, alumni requests, and even those third-party requests in one centralized location. So today, you may be handling records requests for current students with folks walking in person, filling out a records request form, like a Google form, maybe calling you, shooting you an email. And then maybe your alumni are also doing the same thing, giving you a call, sending you an email, and you have third parties faxing you for those grad verification requests. But we at Parchment, we consolidate and centralize all of those channels into one, so that every request comes in via Parchment and every request goes out via Parchment. So you're only monitoring one particular channel for all of those records requests. And then in addition to that, because a Parchment account can grow with your students, it's not just limited to those that are currently enrolled. So if you select Parchment, you are selecting the best available records and credential management service for your current students today and for when they're alumni tomorrow. So it's something that will continue to have access, continue to have access to and be able to call upon those records at any time. And then as Denise and Haley stated, it all leads up to saving time. So the simplicity is going to increase your operational efficiency for handling records requests and give you back that time in the day to reinvest into other places at your office. So in addition to that, you're going to get access to Parchment's very robust network of destinations. So with that said, a little bit over 95% of colleges and universities across the country are Parchment members. And so what does that mean is that they've signed agreements with us. They have specific Parchment inboxes where they collect those transcripts and other credentials. But the network isn't just limited to these colleges. There's scholarship organizations. You can send directly to the military or NCAA. Different third-party organizations are also Parchment members, like background check companies or employers. And I think one thing to point out here is just because you have a student that is maybe on the college path, right, sending to colleges and universities, but what about those students that may not be on the college path? So Parchment can support all pathways. So you can select the destination for your transcript as a specific email address. So maybe you have a student that's applying to a college that is a little bit smaller, maybe he's not a part of the Parchment's network. They can send their transcript directly to the admissions counselor that they are working with and securely via Parchment. So same thing for students that need to send their transcripts directly to an employer because they're maybe entering the workforce right after graduation. So we want to make sure that you understand that in selecting Parchment, you can support all those students and their pathways as well. And so when you zoom out and you think about Parchment and what we're really trying to solve for, time and time again, year after year, we have high schools that join Parchment, join our network, and we just hear that their headaches and frustrations that they've historically had with their transcript management process, they've melted away. They're no longer worrying about something that is manual, sending and printing a transcript and mailing that out. There's no trackability. So all those headaches are you no longer have, right? So everything is accessible, everything is visible in Parchment for both not just you, but also your students with the tracking ability. And so hammering down into the specifics of what you actually get out of the ISAC Transcript Exchange. So number one, this is truly a free service for you and your students. So your current students will not be charged when they go through the request their electronic transcript to be sent. So if you think about it, it's an all-you-can-eat model. You can send to 10, 20 different destinations and never see a fee. And then additionally, you and your school, maybe your district, are not going to get an invoice for this service. And that's because ISAC is covering the cost for you. And then what's also included in that is the training and implementation as well. And if a student and or alumni wanted to send a hard copy of their transcript to a particular destination, maybe there is a smaller local scholarship opportunity that they're interested in. And for whatever reason, those folks wanted a hard copy, the students can choose to have their transcript printed and mailed, and Parchment will be the ones that print and mail that for you on your behalf. So you don't have to print anything out in your office. And then the fee for that is $2.75. And then, as we mentioned, your alumni have access to Parchment as well, but they will pay our standard transaction fee of $4.65 or request during the checkout process. And then I think one last thing to point out here, and it is because it's so popular with our members in both K-12 and higher ed, is that you have the option to turn this into a revenue generating tool for your school or district. So each school has the ability to add surcharges to particular requests, such as all alumni requests, and most popularly are grad verification requests, those third-party requests. And so we'll collect that surcharge on your behalf at the time of checkout, and we'll remit that money back to you on a quarterly basis. And then you can use that those dollars you earn from the surcharges for anything you like, whether that may be an additional Parchment service such as records digitization or our diploma services. Maybe you can start your own scholarship in your guidance office or pay for something in your department. It's up to you, however you want to use that money. So if you decide, if you have any additional questions or you decide you want to register with Parchment under the ISAC Transcript Exchange, please contact me directly and I'll get you in touch with our regional sales manager to go over the agreement. And then what next steps kind of look like. Once the agreement is sent over and signed, then we'll get you in our implementation queue. And then from there, our implementation team will work with you to create your account and help with the transcript uploads and get you live and active. So I'll pause there, Lenore, before transitioning into the demo. Is there any questions that we have at this time?
No, I'm not seeing any additional questions come through, Ben, so you can go ahead and proceed.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm using Frisco ISD in Frisco, Texas as an example here. So once they've gone through implementation, the first step before going live is we're gonna get you set up with your custom URL link that each school has. It's their own custom URL link. You post it to your website, maybe under the transcripts page or a counselor's page, or even at the top banner to say, hey, this is how our students, parents, alumni, third parties are requesting your transcript. So you can direct your students to your school website. You can also add this link to your email signature. So if you get those emails, you can say, hey, we're actually taking transcript requests, records requests through Parchment. Please click on the link here. And so with Frisco, you can see that they have several high schools. Each high school has their own individual link. So I'll click on that link and it'll take me directly to your Parchment storefront, which is where I can log in as a learner, third party, or I can create my own student account. And so I have my information here. I'm going to click continue to log in. Let me redo this password. Sorry about that. Let me stop sharing here real quick and grab this information. My apologies. And we'll get us logged in here.
If you have thought of some questions for Ben that you'd like him to address when he gets done with this next segment, go ahead and put them in the chat so we have them. We want to be able to get to everything as quickly as we can and still be respectful of your time.
All right, I'm logged in here. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Sorry about that. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So once I get logged into my demo or my student account here, I can see what credentials I can order from my high school. Typically by default, it is transcripts, but we do have supplemental documents that you can make available for your students to order, like counselor recommendation, health records. And so you can work with me to decide if you would like to make those available for student ordering. But for this case, I just want to order my transcript. So I'm going to go ahead and click order. And the next step here is to choose the destination. And as previously stated, we do have over 95% of colleges and universities that are in the Parchment network. And so in this case here, I want to send my transcript to, let's go with Northwestern. I'll see Northwestern University. You can see all the information on the right-hand side. It gives me the address, the college, university. I'll go ahead and click Northwestern. And then from this next page is the item details page. So I can see my name here, Bobby Hill. I'm requesting my transcript from Demo High School 18, and I want it to be sent to Northwestern University. I can see the credential fee on the right-hand side. So obviously, since the ISAC is covering the subscription for all of the schools to utilize, they're not going to see a fee here. But if I were an alumni or I'm requesting a hard copy, which I'll show you here in a little bit, I would see my credential fee, and then that would be used as a credit card to pay for that fee. Then by default, it says, when do you want this sent? So by default, it's sent as send now, but I can also choose for hold for grades. So let's say I'm a senior and I'm ordering my transcript in March, and I want to wait for my grades, my final grades to be posted in early June. I can choose hold for grades. And as the admin, you will see that request come in on your on hold tab so that you know to wait to upload the transcript once those final transcripts are ready to be sent. But for this case here, we'll keep it as send now. And then we are FERPA compliant as well. So I sign my name here. I'll add the consent to the disclosure, and I will click continue. On this next page here is my order summary. Again, it's letting me know that I'm requesting my transcript from Demo High School to be sent to Northwestern University. So I can click complete order, but let's say, I'm going to send my transcript to another institution. I'm applying to another college, or, maybe I want to send my transcript to an employer. I can actually click add another item for Bobby Hill here. And this will take me back to the first step here, ordering the transcript. So I can choose order. So instead of sending to a college university that's someone in our network, I can click I'm sending to myself or another individual. And once I click on that, I'm going to say I'm sending this order to another individual. And then the first selection is, do you want this sent electronically? So are we going to send this to an email address, or are we going to print and mail this request? And so we would provide you the ability to add in the school name, the business name, the address of that company. And then you also have the ability to expedite this. There is an additional fee for overnight, obviously. But for here, we'll type in, I'm sending this to myself. And I'm going to go ahead and click continue. So again, I'm requesting my transcript from demo to be sent to myself. I'm going to send now. I have my signature. And again, I'm going to provide consent. And there I'm going to click continue. And on this next page, you'll see that I have my two requests. I have one being sent to Northwestern and also one being sent to myself. This looks good. I'm going to go ahead and click complete order. And I have my order confirmation. I'm going to go ahead and click continue to my account. And this will show me again, I'm at Demo High School, and I can track my orders as well. So back when Denise was stating that, her students are able to see, where's my transcript at? There's multiple locations where you can track as a student. So first, it's in your student account under orders. You can track your orders there. Parchment will also send you email notifications once the request is placed, once the high school processes the request, and then lastly, once the destination confirms receipt of your transcript. So it's tracked 3 separate times within this process. So on this page here, just real quickly, where's my transcript? You'll see that Demo High School is glowing here. That means that Demo High School currently has your transcript request and it's pending. It hasn't yet been processed. If I scroll down here to this request, I can see that recipient is glowing. That means that the college, university, or that individual has confirmed receipt of my transcript. So again, students can track their request throughout the whole life cycle of the process. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the admin account. So what do you guys see as counselors, registrars, or anyone that processes requests? So by default, when I log in, I land on my to-do tab here, and I can see that I have 3 pending orders. The first one is a grad verification request for Larry Bird. I have my request from Demo High School. And moving from left to right, you can see the student name, you'll see your high school name, the student ID, the date of birth, the graduation leave year, and then if you can add the last 4 social security number as another identifying marker as well for that student. Then in the middle of the request, you can see the type of credential that's being requested. So in this case, the transcript's being requested. I can see the order date of when it was requested. And also lastly, where I'm sending this request to, Northwestern. And then most importantly, on the right-hand side, you'll see the highlighted green process order versus down here where it's a blue select file. So during implementation, our implementation team will work with you to upload your student roster and your student transcripts. And the reason you do that is so that when request comes in, that student's transcript is already in your account and it auto matches to the request, saving you time looking for that transcript, whether that's in your student information system or if it's an alumni request, locating that in a file cabinet. So you see auto matched here, we already uploaded everything, it's good to go. I'll just click process order, and that transcript is being delivered instantly, securely to Northwestern University. For this request here, maybe this is an alumni from 1990. I didn't have this transcript uploaded. So what I can do is go find that transcript, scan it, and save it as a PDF, and then upload it directly to this request. So I can click select file, upload new file, and I can choose that to move here. And let's just say that that's the student's transcript. It's attached, and then I can click process order. And then the last one here is a grad verification request. So you have an employer requesting verification that this student did graduate from your high school. You can click on verify, and you'll see all the student's information. So if you spent the time uploading the transcripts in the back end, it will auto match to this request. And at the very bottom, you can confirm. I can say, yes, I can confirm that the student has graduated. The graduation date, let's go 05/31/2023. And then I'll click generate document. So what we're doing is Parchment's generating a grad verification form for you, just stating that I, counselor at Demo High School, can confirm that Larry Bird did graduate on this date. You'll click process now, and Parchment will send that grad verification on to that background check company or employer. I think one last thing to point on that is if you can't verify, we also have no, I cannot verify that the student graduated. And then we'll produce a form for you and then send that on to the requester, letting them know that, hey, we cannot confirm that this student graduated. Last thing I want to touch on is the history tab. This is where you're going to be doing all of your customer support. Hey, you get a call. Hey, Larry, the school is stating that they never received my transcript. You can come in here, you can type in that student's first name, you can type in the student's last name, or you can click on the toggle drawer on the right-hand side, which will give you the ability to use different search options: date range, type of credential, delivery method, electronic versus print, graduation leave year. But you can click search. This will show you all requests that have come into your account. You have the status of that request. So pending, available. Pending means that you haven't yet processed it. Available means it's been delivered and received. And so this is where you can come in and say, hey, Larry, it looks like we did deliver your grad verification to bigbusiness@gmail.com. We can confirm it. Here's the tracking ID number. And then lastly, you can download all this information into an Excel worksheet and use that however you wish. So
thanks,
yeah.
Ben. We're at time right now, so I just want to thank everyone. We're going to go ahead, and I know we'll be over by a couple minutes, but I want to be respectful of your time. I think that when Ben does those highlights of what's happening with his admin and the student accounts, it's very helpful for you guys to see that. So I didn't really want to cut him off on that, because that's probably the most important part. What I have to say is not. And so we do thank you. We have a couple questions. One is, how long does it take to set up once the school reaches out to use Parchment, Ben?
It depends on our implementation queue, but I would say 1 to 2 weeks to get the first kickoff call going.
So really, we're a little bit dependent on your time as well. So we've had schools that, we meet with them and you get right on it. That agreement gets sent out for signature, and then Parchment takes that ball and runs with it and gets it right over to the implementation team. If you are interested in doing that, certainly reach out to either Ben or myself right away, and we can get you through that process. Another question real quickly is, are credential fees covered for nonprofit organizations that connect students to colleges?
If it's a current student requesting their transcript, then it is completely free for them to do so.
And I don't see any other questions popping up. Ben and I are here. I'll leave this information. If someone has a question, we'll hang around for just a few minutes, but I did want to thank everyone for joining us today. And let me just end with this, that what are you waiting for? There's no cost to participate. We're here to help you. It's safe and secure, and we can't wait to hear from you. So have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining me today, Olivia. I'm fine to take it from here, so thank you so much for joining. Did you want to say something, Olivia?